Meet my gas oven. Her name is Micah. She's a complete standing cooker with a complete gas oven, and we light her using a matchstick. She doesn't have a temperature gauge, so we are going to use an oven thermometer that we bought separately, and that is the wire rack. So I'm going to place it on the second tier, and I'm also going to light the oven using a matchstick. That hole there, that is where we light the oven, and I'm going to place in the oven thermometer for it to take the temperature so that we know at what temperature we are at. So I'm preheating the oven literally, and this is a recipe that I'm trying it for the first time. Not that I've never made a scones recipe, but I've done it. But this one kind of looked interesting, and I wanted to try it. And this one, I got it from a YouTuber from South Africa, and she called this recipe scones. I think that's just I don't know, but she called it scones, and I saw like she did it differently. And I wanted to try out. See, I love trying out recipes. I love the kitchen. I love cooking. So every time I find a video that seems interesting, I go ahead and try it. I don't mind the ingredients as long as I cook these things until they are edible. I don't care how bad they come out. As long as they cook and we can eat them, fine with me. I'll keep on trying. So I'm not going to leave the ingredients, the list of the ingredients in the description box, neither in the comment section, because this recipe was a fail and I've tried it twice. This one is the first try, and I know there was something I did wrong, probably while I was baking. No, that is true. Yes, when I was baking, there's something I did wrong, and I saw like the temperatures. You see, my oven doesn't have a uniform temperature because it doesn't have an oven fan to distribute the temperature evenly. So the farthest end of the oven tends to have very high temperatures than the side where the door is. So and the temperature gauge, I placed it right next to the door, so the temperature I'm getting from the oven thermometer isn't the same temperature that is at the farthest end of the oven, and that is why I was so worried. And then I reduced the heat, the fire, to the minimum, so it was cooking at around 190 degrees centigrade. Yet the recipe called for 220 degrees centigrade, and I knew I messed up because these scones came out melted. They were supposed to cook as in the way the scones cook. You know how the English scones cook? Yes, they were supposed to cook like that, but they never came out baked like that. There was something else. They looked like buns. Do you know buns? The ones that we need with yeast and everything. Yes, they came out like buns. So at this point, I was brushing it with the egg wash before I take them inside the oven. There it is. The oven is preheated to 220 degrees. And by the way, you preheat the oven before you start with your mixing. So while the oven is preheating, you go ahead and start mixing your ingredients. So by the time you are done, the oven has preheated to the right temperature. Now this is where things got worse. This is where I reduced the temperature, and the end result is here. Yeah, that's what happened. You see how it burnt? You see there, it burnt. because of my oven, the way my oven is made. So I did another batch, but this one I did it after 2 days, and I must say there's some progress because they came out differently than the first ones. At least, yes, they did tend to spread out, but at this point I knew now it's not the oven. Now it's the cutting out, the thickness. The thickness, it has to do with the thickness, because you see how different it looks. It tried. Yes. Now the next time I'm going to cut it out, the thickness, I'm going to reduce the thickness and then see if it comes out nicely. And I'm going to bring you along. So on this video, I'm not going to show you the third trial. This is just the second trial. Yes, it got burnt, of course. I told you what happened. So if you're making this, please don't place the scones to the farthest of the oven. That place has more heat than the front part. Now that's what I made today. Let's go outside and show you what I'm making. Yes, there's a project I'm starting, and there's this thing I did find out from the internet called square foot gardening. Yes, I've been doing gardening. I live in the urban setting, so I've been doing gardening in containers, and this one I saw it like it was interesting, and I'm going to bring you along with me. So I'm doing the box because it calls for you to make something like that. The square foot garden means it's like 4 foot by 4 foot, but this of mine, because of space, is 2 foot by 5 or 6 foot. So I've made this box, lined it with a polythene bag, and then poke holes, then pour in the sand. So the sand is for preventing the soil from clogging those holes for drainage purposes. Of course, we don't want a clogged garden. It will kill our plants. I've mixed chicken manure with soil and a little bit of sand, and this soil is from the containers I had there in the front, just right there, and I had some soil also in a sack, so I did mix it. Then I'm going to fill this box, wait for the rain to rain, and then I'll wait like a week, because I'm going to go and buy some plants. But I didn't make my bed, my nursery bed. So here are the rains, and I'm happy the rains are here, because we have progress and we need plants to plant. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for my subscribers. I love you all. I really love you all. Thank you for the new subscribers. Welcome to the family. Here we do anything, everything. We're just doing life. Yeah, we're literally doing life. So I'm trying to utilize the space I have. Thank you for watching. Like the video. See you in the next video.